comes the biggest answer to the biggest question in the NFL this week. It went from day to hour to minute to minute. And then he came out of that locker room, Daryl, about an hour ago. Fans still waiting to see officially, and this place erupted.
It was amazing to hear the response from this fan base, and we should have expected it from the Bills Mafia, but I agree with what Pam talked about. We saw him on Friday's practice. He did throw the ball well. There was a lot of velocity on it. Not a lot of deep throws, though.
He starts with a quick throw. Stephon Diggs all the way across the field with nowhere to go. And the former Vikings up for a loss of 4 on the first play of the day. For the rest of the Bills' offense looks like this. They do get Spencer Brown back at right tackle after he missed the last 2 games with an ankle injury. And as good as this offense is overall, Daryl, Josh Allen has covered up some questions. Maybe today's a chance to see see if they can get that traditional ground game going. Maybe today's a chance where they can learn about a second or third target.
A lot of talk about the one-man show, and he eliminates a lot of the mistakes that this offense makes. So this is definitely an opportunity for some of these other parts of this offense to step up this afternoon.
Second and long. Allen throws to the sideline, and Khalil Shakir with the reception. And so third down coming up. This Vikings defense veteran group. You got the old Bill in the middle of it with Harrison Phillips. This linebacker level really impressive.
Very impressive. And the secondary very strong as well. They're going to see, the Bills offense is going to see some similarities to the style and scheme played by the Jets last week. You're going to see some of that 2-deep shell. I don't know if that D-line is as aggressive and as productive as the Jets was last week, but you do have 2 good edge rushers in Daniil Hunter and Zadarius Smith.
Yeah, very disruptive Vikings unit. Force a lot of turnovers. They get a lot of sacks. Top 10 in both. Play clock winding down and out, and it's a delay.
Delay game. Offense, number 17.
Craig Rolstad, referee of this crew. They're now actually going to say that a timeout was called to avoid that delay.
And that's important. Now you're talking about 3rd and 8. That's not easy to convert. Now you're talking about 3rd and 13 if you get that delay of game. So you're just compounding the error. And we just got through a whole discussion of reducing the amount you're going to lean on Josh Allen to make those plays, to be the offensive eraser for this Bills team. And you don't want to be getting behind the chains on a consistent basis this afternoon.
And against that Vikings lineup, you're talking about so good at generating pressure with Hunter and Smith on the edges. Can tee off here on a 3rd and long. Opening Buffalo drive. 3 plays, 3 throws. Josh Allen tipped it incomplete. It was Chandon Sullivan that broke it up. And it's a 3-and-out to start for Buffalo.
That's a nice job by Chandon Sullivan. And Josh Allen has been having a little bit of trouble the last 6 quarters, really kind of seeing things clean. Chandon Sullivan rides his guy down inside, forces him into the middle of the field, but then spins back out toward the flat. And I think Josh Allen lost him in coverage.
Veteran Sam Martin sends this one away. And returnable from the 15-yard line. Jalen Reagor crossing the 25. So now we get our first look at this Vikings offense. Kirk O'Chains, Kirk Thuggins comes out on the field. And look, the overall numbers are down, but the bottom line, Daryl, winning like never before. The Vikings 7-1 behind Cousins.
Yeah, a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence. And the thing for me is to see these guys having fun. You know, what Kevin O'Connell as the head coach has brought to this team, and to see some of the things that these guys are sharing on social media, getting that inside look at how much fun this team is having to start 7-1.
Hey, did you say swagger and Kirk Cousins in the same sentence?
I did. Can you believe it?
Oh, my goodness. First play of the day for Cousins and the Vikings, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. This Vikings offense, top 10 in the NFL, scoring more than 20 points per game. Really good at the tackle spots, not as good inside. But then you flip over to the skill players, Daryl, and they've got 5 legit Pro Bowlers.
They really do. And you touched on Justin Jefferson at the top. But to me, today, Dalvin Cook. That's going to be one of the things, another area we got to find out about this Bills team, their run defense. That Packer game in the second half, that drive that the Jets used to close that game out. I'm interested to see how they hold Dalvin Cook in check today.
There's some confusion coming out of the huddle there, and the Vikings have to take a timeout, playing in what is going to be their first difficult environment of the season. A couple of the road games, neutral sites. A couple just basically taken over by Vikings fans. You ain't going to do that in Orchard Park. You're not going to bring your fan base into here.
No, they have traveled well for them. To Miami, to Washington. They had one game overseas in London. And the interesting thing is, because of the way the schedule has fallen during Kirk Cousins' career, this is his first opportunity to play a regular season game in Buffalo. And you can see already the impact it's going to have on your play call in the huddle, at the line of scrimmage, your ability to audible. There's a lot of things from the mechanical standpoint that Kirk Cousins is going to have to be spot on this afternoon.
First touch for Delvin Cook, and he's chopped down. That's DeMar Hamlin, who had a career-high 12 tackles in the loss against the Jets last week. And he's got one here for a loss of 1. And this Bills defense that is #1 in the NFL for the second consecutive year, dealing with some key injuries and trying to stop the run. Like you said, they struggled doing that the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they have. And you got Matt Milano back, which is a huge thing when you're talking about stopping that run game. I think it's going to be interesting today. You've got Von Miller. You don't have Greg Rousseau. That's a loss today. But you've got Von Miller on the edge, leading an injured secondary. The Bills' secondary has been devastated by injuries during the course of the season. Can they get that ball thrown downfield?
3rd and long. Cousins given time. His throw is right there to Jefferson. First catch of the day for one of the NFL's best is a big one into Bills territory. Jefferson goes 46 yards, and they convert 3rd and long.
This is actually good coverage by Christian Benford. Watch him. He funnels them to the outside. There's the uniqueness of Justin Jefferson on the outside, but able to get inside the defender. Now you got to rally. You've got to come up. In that situation right there, Cam Lewis has got to come up. He's got to make that tackle right as Christian Benford loses Justin Jefferson.
NFL's leading receiver since his debut, now in his 3rd year, Justin Jefferson. And a first down for the Vikings at the Buffalo 29. Delvin Cook got blown up before he could get going, and then planted by A.J. Epinesa. We're talking about some of those injuries for the Bills. Yeah, big deal that they get Matt Milano back. Significant that they get him back, but Rousseau joins Poyer. As far as the inactives, Elam is out, White still out, and so that secondary especially thin. Fake to Cook. Hawkinson open in the flats. T.J. Hawkinson, 9 catches in his Vikings debut last week. Over the top here to make it 3rd and short. You're not supposed to be able to show up on Wednesday, Darryl, and then 4 days later have 9 catches.
Yeah, well, the other thing you're not supposed to do is be able to get a guy like T.J. Hawkinson at the trade deadline when really that is kind of the missing piece to the puzzle for you offensively. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen on the outside. Who's going to be that guy that's going to work the middle of the field? Irv Smith is out of the lineup right now. You're able to get T.J. Hawkinson at the trade deadline, and he is going to really jumpstart this passing game downfield.
Another 3rd down, 3rd and 3. Cousins looks to throw, lofting for the end zone, and Jefferson! Touchdown, Minnesota! Jefferson, 2 big catches on the drive, and did he just hurt himself in the celebration? Grabbed that hamstring. You hope that he's just messing around. Yeah, my goodness. As it stands, it's a score, 6-0 Vikings.
Well, this time it's Dane Jackson on the outside, just a go route. And again, in good position, you just don't get that head around. You got to be able to track those hands of the receiver. And as soon as they make a move to get ready to catch that ball, try and impact that throw.
And I think he is okay. You've seen him walking off to the sideline, high-fiving some of his teammates. Certainly looked okay on his first 2 touches. 3 and out on their first drive. This one begins at the Minnesota 47. All pass plays on the first drive. It's a pass play to begin this one. Allen finds a crossing Diggs. Pushed out of bounds by Cameron Bynum, and a flag will add on. Take your partner Eric Kendricks, the tackle and the flag. And now it's Diggs coming up wincing. So 4 plays and 4 throws from Josh Allen.
Yeah, right.
First call tackle. Defense number 54. That 15-yard penalty we added at the end of the play, automatic. First down.
And now it's Bills fans that got to be mildly concerned with their star receivers. He looks a bit ginger walking back into that huddle.
Yeah, it's always so nerve-wracking when you see those types of tackles. You see so many severe injuries come from that horse collar style tackle.
All right, so first down to the 25. Diggs already with his second catch. Oh, run play, and it's Singletary. Devin Singletary inside the 10. First and goal, Bills. First carry of the day goes for 20.
Wow, what a great run. This is what you have to do, right? Sometimes you got to make an unblocked guy miss. Some good blocking up front. Watch number 7 right there. Freezes him back inside. Good work downfield by Khalil Shakir. That was a really, really well-executed play and a great move by Devin Singletary.
This is one of the things they're trying to get going, that more traditional running game, not just relying on Josh Allen to improvise. And a good early indication there. First down and goal. They go back to Singletary. This time, nothing doing. Jonathan Bullard, Harrison Smith in there to stop Singletary. And it's second and goal.
Yeah, Harrison Smith going to be upset with himself. He did a great job, read the play, came through on blocks, got an opportunity to make a tackle for a loss, and just got a little bit too low, didn't follow through.
Now, one of the many veterans on this Vikings defense. You got Smith in his 11th year, Patrick Peterson in his 12th, all 4 linebackers in their 8 seasons. Where they've really had issues this year has been in the red zone. Vikings, the worst red zone defense in the league. Singletary with a 3rd consecutive carry. And this one takes him into the end zone. Touchdown Bills, responding immediately.
You can draw up a play, but you're not going to be able to block everybody, right? So you're going to leave Patrick Peterson unblocked. Gabe Davis comes in. He's going to get Harrison Smith for you right there. That seals it. Now we're one-on-one.
Feels like a big game today. Temperature in the mid-30s. Perfect chill in the air. As the Vikings try to get their 7th consecutive win. They're 7-1 for the first time since 2009. All in tight fashion. And they've opened up a 4.5-game lead in the NFC North. They've got 7 wins. The other 3 teams have 8 wins combined. Still their skeptics, though. Sitting at 7-1 in the first year under 37-year-old Kevin O'Connell. Trying to become the 7th guy to win 8 of his first 9 games as a head coach. 7-1, winning those tight games. And how are they doing?
The big thing is they're talking about big-ticket items that usually start to take place in year 2, towards the end of that season in year 2 when you hire a new head coach. Culture, chemistry, foundational pieces. Minnesota is way ahead of the curve on getting this team united behind all 3 phases.
Cousins stumbles and Cook falls on top of it to save the day. That thing doomed from the start. Like he tripped coming out of center there.
Yeah, he kind of slid over a little bit. Watch this right. His right guard's going to get him. But look how far he is. He's over to the right side anyways. And you see that foot kind of get him right there as he goes to step away from center.
Ed Ingram, much maligned right guard, steps on Cousins, and it's a loss of 5 on first down. That's Von Miller. 2nd and 15. Cousins to Jefferson. Already with his 3rd catch. This one goes for only 4 yards. Right away, he gets hit. Now, here's some of those details we're talking about, Daryl. You know, it's cliche, the little things. They're 6-0 in 1-score games this year after there was 6-8 last year. And we're going to give you some detail on how. After this 3rd down play, Cousins goes underneath. Dalvin Cook is stopped short. It'll be 4th and 1. Tackled from behind by Jordan Phillips.
I think one of the real interesting things that he said was, and this is something that he learned with his time in New England under Bill Belichick as a quarterback, more games are lost before you get a chance to win. And you look at those situations right there, turnovers, red zone, penalty, starting field position, that step, special teams, 4th quarter point differential. That's why they're winning the close game. They're not beating themselves. They're putting themselves into positions late in games to find a way to win.
Ryan Wright sends it away to Nyheim Hines. It's a short punt. Hines grabs it, splits the first 2 defenders, and then gets planted shy of the 30. Got a good one going. 7-7 midway through the first. And back to Orchard Park after this.
So we needed an extra layer. There we go. There's one up there.
Did you grab one of those for $35 a pop?
I'd love one. I would love one.
I bet they'd even get you a discount.
I'm a big fan of James Cook. You know, talk to Sean McDermott about him, and he says he's getting better. He's learning how to be a pro. He understands what he has to do during the practice week.
Singletary's back in with a seam off the left side. Drags Kendricks for a few extra and sets up 3rd and short.
He's just got really good vision right now. Devin Singletary is in that zone, and the guys up front are covering people up, and they're letting him pick and choose where that run lane is.
Allen to throw on 3rd and short. In rhythm, what a snag. Isaiah McKenzie. And so we're asking, who are those 2nd and 3rd targets going to be? And we've seen Davis and McKenzie get grabs on this drive.
Yeah, you get the great matchup, right? You got McKenzie against Kendricks, a linebacker versus a wide receiver. What a great catch right there. We know about that arm of Josh Allen. Everybody you talk to, it's unique, whether it's the deep throw, whether it's the underneath throw with velocity on it. That's a heck of a catch by Isaiah McKenzie.
Hey, you're a Western New York guy. Do we call this a wintry mix starting to fall?
Oh, this is late fall, early spring weather. This is lovely.
Yeah. 1st down and 10. A deep drop lets those routes develop. On the move to the sideline. He's got Diggs. 1st down, Bills to the 20. Spreading the ball around, this time for 19.
Yeah, a lot going on that Patrick Peterson has to worry about here. Watch the top of this route. We're going to go out to the outside. Then I'm going to take you deep. No, I'm going to put my foot in the ground and come back. That's a really well-run route by Stephon Diggs.
Diggs already with his 3rd reception. Bills on the move looking for their first lead of the day. 1st down and 10 to the Viking 20. Back to the ground, Singletary. Hit at the line, lost a yard. Finished off by Jordan Hicks. Jonathan Bullard, the man there first.
2nd down.
Whatever that is, the wintry mix or the fall weather, it's getting heavier. It's been beautiful here, huh?
Yeah, we missed it by a week, Joe. We missed it by a week.
Didn't do us any good. 2nd down, 11. Diggs by himself to the top. That's where Allen looks. Scans the field. Lets it go too tall for Davis. Harrison Smith there in coverage. 3rd and 11.
I don't know how many quarterbacks are even going to try to make this throw because you've got to throw it through 54. Eric Kendricks is right there. That's why it's up a little bit high. He's got to get it over that linebacker in front, but there's so much confidence in that arm strength to get that throw and that ball through anything.
Which is telling. I mean, normally that's, yeah, of course there's confidence in the arm, but coming off the elbow injury, seeing him cut loose like that's a good sign. On 3rd and 11. Allen steps up. Allen takes off. Spins, fights, and gets the 1st down with the extra effort. 1st down, Buffalo. And there's that dimension of his game.
And if you were concerned about Josh Allen playing today, this is why, because he is so competitive. You can talk to him about playing smart, do the right thing, get down. Don't get around those piles. Do everything you can to play a smart style of football today. Yeah, right. You know what? I'm going to play Josh Allen style football today.
Say get down. He says, I'm 6'5", 240. You get down. 1st and goal. James Cook back into the game. He's got it. Short side of the field. Cook downhill to the pylon. And inside the 5. They say that he stepped out at the 1.
This is a really nice job. Watch him switch hands to try and get inside the pylon right at the end. Oh, he's down out of bounds before he hits the pylon. Really nice job by the officials on that one. I thought maybe he was going to get to the pylon before he got out of bounds.
He's saying, I want that first score before Big Brother. He's got the 3 Pro Bowls. He's got the 1,000-yard seasons, but I want a touchdown first today. Singletary replaces him. Second and goal. It is Singletary around the right side. He's got his second touchdown already. And the Bills have their first lead.
I tell you what, this has been a really impressive start because we're starting to see some of the other guys in this offense step up. The offensive line is doing a heck of a job to start this game, but Devin Singletary, Isaiah McKenzie, Khalil Shakir, the other guys, Gabe Davis, they're starting to step up.
This is what, through this first quarter, kind of how the Bills envisioned it looking coming into the year. Well, the Vikings will have to come from behind once again if they're going to get their 7th consecutive win, facing the team with the best record in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have a 14-7 lead as they begin the second quarter. James Cook, the end of the game at running back. On second and short, Cook's got it. Met at the line of scrimmage and driven back by James Lynch, who's getting his second start today with Delvin Tomlinson out. He's played really well in Tomlinson's spot.
He really has. That was really well done right there. And what we saw on those scoring drives by Buffalo was their ability to run the ball once they got down into that red zone, especially down in tight. And that's a good start right there by James Lynch to kind of create a little bit of negative doubt in that run game.
Diggs out here on third and short. They get the heavy set in. Bobby Hart, an extra lineman. The fullback Reggie Gilliam in there as well. It's a first down. And it's Duke Johnson who had the long kick return earlier. One of 4 running backs they have active today, and he converts.
That's a really nice job by Deion Dawkins. He comes all the way from the left tackle position. And you've got Eric Kendricks in the hole ready to make that tackle, and all of a sudden he just washes him by.
There's a couple good blocks for Dawkins today. Singletary's back in.
We're good.
Singletary trips over Allen and loses a couple yards on first down.
It's going to be fun to watch these teams go through the course of the game and things that were working well in the beginning. All of a sudden you start to make those adjustments on the sideline. Right now, defensive coordinator Ed Donatel starting to catch up a little bit with this run game down inside the red zone that the Bills have had success with to start.
Well, they continue to cycle those running backs through there. James Cook back in. On second and 11, back to the air. Allen has a tip. Diggs tipped again and incomplete. Boy, about 7 dudes had a chance. Nobody caught it. If Bynum grabs that, he might be headed the other way for a touchdown.
Little things during the course of the game that can shift it. Here's one of your big opportunities right there. I agree with you. Cameron Bynum, if he can get that and get going in the other direction right away, that's a potential for a pick 6. That feels like a volleyball.
Yeah. I think credit to Diggs at the last moment there for turning into a defender. And it's 3rd and long. Vikings trying to make a stand here after the short field following the interception. Deep drop from Allen. He's got all day, and he throws incomplete. Over the head of Devin Singletary, and the field goal team will come out.
That's a nice job by that Vikings defense, because that's one of those situations where, you know, this offense for Buffalo gets that momentum. We've seen them during the course of the season already. When they get rolling, boy, they are really, really difficult to stop and to get that momentum back for your team. So that's a really good stand right there by the Vikings defense.
Drive started at the 27-yard line, and the Vikings forced this field goal attempt from Tyler Batts. He's got it. And the Bills get through.
Cousins take advantage of this and show the great complementary football they've been playing.
On a boot, quickly gets it to Hockenson, who's met right away. And it's Christian Benford, who one play ago had an interception. Stops Hockenson after a gain of 2.
Well, he's off to a good start. I mean, that opening catch that we saw with Justin Jefferson, he was in great coverage position. And then since then, he's just really played well in all different phases of the game. The interception, a really nice job with the tackle there on the outside.
One of the many young players in that secondary for the Bills with all the injuries they've dealt with. Rookie on a Villanova. 2nd and 8. Play action again. Cousins on the roll. Nothing there. Gets a couple, and it's third down. Coverage downfield tight. Allowed Ed Oliver to catch up and run Cousins out of bounds.
This is just a really good job of recognition when that quarterback gets out on the outside on the bootleg. It's going to be tiered routes. You're going to have somebody shallow, somebody intermediate, and somebody deep. So we'll run this for you. We'll show you where all three are getting into position. Here comes your shallow. There's your intermediate down the field. And then you've got your deep. The Bills anticipated it, and they moved right in sync with the receivers and had everything covered up.
On 3rd and 7. Cousins zips one for Jefferson. First down, Minnesota. All right, the 4th catch of the game for Justin Jefferson, who's getting close to 100 yards in this first half.
Well, good anticipation by Kevin O'Connell because he thought Von Miller might go to the right side a little bit more. You get a little running back help there on the chip. And then here's the route working against Dane Jackson again. And just look at those cuts. He gets in and out of those cuts. They are so sharp and so square. That's where the separation comes from at the top of the route for Justin Jefferson.
88 yards on 4 catches for Jefferson. Big one right there to extend this drive. Here comes Madison. Alexander Madison, first carry of the day, crashes forward for close to a first down.
A nice 1-2 punch for Minnesota here with the ability to roll out Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. But getting back to Justin Jefferson, I thought it was interesting that Kevin O'Connell told us, hey, we had a game earlier this season, and we were all a little bit frustrated from it with our performance. But I went to Justin Jefferson, and we were talking about things, and I said, but yeah, you can be better. You have to be better. I mean, every defense you play against is geared to taking you away, so you cannot be lazy on a route. You can't take a play off, and you saw it on that one. That was a great route that Justin Jefferson ran.
Madison again has a hole, lowers the shoulder, thrown down by Milano, but a first down. So Justin Jefferson is on the verge of becoming the first guy to have 20 100-yard receiving days in his first 3 years, and he's still got a half a season to play.
These are just great routes, and this is really impressive right here. You know, they'll talk about late hands. You know, he gets his hands up late, so you're kind of preventing Dane Jackson with his back to the ball and not getting his head around to track it to give him any clue that the football is on its way.
Pressure coming, hit at the line, and incomplete. A.J. Epinesa getting the start today with Russo out. Broke that one up, and it's 2nd and 10.
I think that that's another area where the addition of Von Miller to this team is really going to pay huge dividends when you talk about a guy like A.J. Epinesa, or, you know, when he gets back, Greg Rousseau, the ability for these young edge guys, even a guy like Shaq Lawson, who's been around and been in the league for a while. You get around Von Miller, and he starts sharing those trade secrets of being a great edge rusher. These guys are going to grow a lot with him around.
2nd down and 10. Cousins knocked away. Tremaine Edmonds. 3rd and 10.
Nice job in coverage by Tremaine Edmonds right there. Watch him. He's going to see it, but watch the burst. T.J. Hawkinson's really good at finding that soft spot. That was about as soft as it could be between Tremaine and Matt Milano. Look at that, right in the middle of that gap right there. Great break on the ball to break up that pass.
He's so long, he's so fast, and showed both those things there. Bills showing pressure on 3rd down and 10. They only bring 4. Cousins pumps, has a soft spot, has a first down to K.J. Osborne. It's the 2nd 3rd and long conversion for the Vikings on this drive.
We see this little bubble screen on the outside so often, and you start to think about the little change-ups right there. You can see Taron Johnson, you know, he was going out. He didn't expect K.J. Osborne to get vertical. I love that little change-up because we see that little bubble screen so often, and the little twist that these coordinators put off of that play design and what it looks like to the defense is really, really cool. Really well done play right there.
Now both these teams spreading the wealth a little bit. 1st and goal for the Vikings. Madison blown up, pulled down, Matt Milano. Missed last week's game with an oblique injury, and when you look at the issues for the Bills stopping the run, that's one of the biggest reasons why.
Absolutely, and he's going up against Christian Darrisaw, number 71, one of the better tackles. He's trying to shove him out of the way. Look at his balance. And Christian Darrisaw is so frustrated because he thinks he's going to be able to just throw Matt Milano out of the way, but he's too athletic.
Loss of a few. 2nd and goal. Cousins floats one, incomplete, dangerous throw, and a flag flies. Hawkinson, the intended receiver. Cam Lewis, getting his first chance to start at safety, was in coverage.
Kind of hooked that right arm.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 87. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
So it does go on Hawkinson.
We talk about all these injuries in the Bills secondary, and they just keep rolling guys in, and they keep making plays. And Cam Lewis right there beats T.J. Hawkinson to the spot. And that's just a great job with his change of direction. He thinks it's on him. He saw the flag. He's like, come on.
Lewis getting a chance. Jordan Poyer's out again. And Cam Lewis, who played his college ball at the University of Buffalo and has been a special team standout in his 3 years in the league, his biggest chance here today.
Hey, poker.
2nd and goal, all the way back at the 17. Screen. Madison has room. Inside the 10, got popped. And it was Lewis there to get him. 3rd down.
He's really taking advantage of his opportunity right now. Cam Lewis, the play on that previous one to T.J. Hawkinson, and right here, the big hit on Alexander Madison. I tell you, and Alexander Madison is a tough running back. I mean, he is physical.
220 pounds. You had Lewis coming up at 185 pounds and delivered that blow. They've converted 3rd and long twice on this drive. This is 3rd and goal. Cousins floats one. Hawkinson, jump ball, and incomplete. Dane Jackson the coverage this time. And the Vikings settle for a field goal attempt.
Here's one of the great things about Von Miller, too. With the pressure that he brings, he's going to kind of blow everything up. But here's the back end of it. Try to give him a little double move right there. Give your guy a chance. T.J. Hawkinson, good at contested catches. Little hold there by Dane Jackson, coming through a little bit early. Down in the end zone, they're letting him play.
And he said, you called one on me, you can't call one on him. Straight away from 27 for Greg Joseph, who stays perfect this year from inside 50 yards. And the Vikings are back to within a score. Midway through this set.
You know, we're getting close to one of those areas, too. We showed you one of the things, or some of the things that Minnesota has done really, really well to get off to this really good start. And we're getting close to another area where they've really gotten better than they've been in the past couple of years.
This is a low kick. Johnson, who had a big return his last time, gets his hands on it and gets thrown down at the 10-yard line. Josh Metellus. Let's go down to Pam.
Well, Joe, for the Minnesota Vikings, this will be their 4th away game of the season. That's worth mentioning because they believe this will be the toughest environment yet. Head coach Kevin O'Connell knows success will depend on how well his team handles the harsh setting. He told us, we haven't faced an environment like this yet. Despite that, he's excited for it. He's excited to see if the Vikings can remain efficient and execute at a high level when those Bills fans are really going crazy. The weather not an issue so far, even though it's all over the place, guys.
It looks like it's dry again. So go to Devin Singletary on 1st down for a short gain. Kirk Cousins is saying, look, I played here in the preseason, never played here in the regular season, but even in the preseason, it was crazy in this place.
It's just a completely different environment, and things that you don't think about going to certain venues. Even when you're on the road, you have to worry about when you play the Bills at this stadium. This crowd is so loud, and when you're backed up into certain parts, you know, in the end zone areas, it's even worse.
Davis goes down to get this one, and it's 3rd and short. Bills trying to win their 7th consecutive game here as Davis gets his 2nd catch.
And I think that's one of the good stories that we can keep an eye on this year is Gabe Davis kind of really, coming in and establishing himself as that true number 2 wide receiver, still kind of fighting that ankle injury from earlier in the season a little bit.
Allen to throw on 3rd and short. He's flushed. He's chased. Got away, got rid of it, and got McKenzie for a 1st down. All right, so a couple of those guys they were counting on to be complimentary targets to Stephon Diggs showing up on this drive.
And just a really nice job by Isaiah McKenzie on the outside. He's way out to the right, and he's going on a deep route. He sees his quarterback in trouble, puts his foot in the ground, and comes back to help out.
Because Diggs has been everything as advertised, but Davis and McKenzie both came into this year with expectations to kind of break out, and both have been disappointed. Both involved early here. Here's McKenzie getting involved in the end around, and Isaiah McKenzie, a big play across the 40. That's the other part of his game.
You mentioned Spencer Brown being back in the lineup, Joe, and he's the guy that really kind of gets this all the way downfield. He's going to go through, act like he's going to the second level, but you'll see 79 all the way down the field. Dawson Knox gets him around the corner, but it's Spencer Brown, 79. Look at him getting downfield against Harrison Smith. He's the guy that gets Isaiah McKenzie those extra yards.
6'8", 310, 15, 20 yards downfield doing his job. Play action. Deep drop. Knox snags it. Dawson Knox, first down, Bills.
Wow. What was the statement that we heard multiple times with our visits here with the Buffalo Bills, the players and coaches? We got to start making plays. It's one of the big things, you know, it's there for us, but we're just not finishing. We're not making plays. We saw the catch by Isaiah McKenzie earlier in the game, and there is another one by Dawson Knox right there. That's a great catch off of the ball. It's way out in front of him.
You're right, man. It sounds like a broken record here, but he's spreading the ball around. All these guys that were counting on to do more have not to this point. Showing up early on today. Allen in trouble. Gets away as he so often does. And slides close to a first down.
There's funny talking to Harrison Smith. He's going to be the guy, number 22, that comes up at the end of this play. And you think it's kind of like when I played against Ben Roethlisberger early in my career. I didn't realize how big he was until I got around him. He goes, and Josh is the same way. You see him run around, you see him do things, and you're like, well, he can't be that big. And then you get up on top of him, and you're like, oh my God, the guy is huge.
Whoa. Second and short. Singletary, already 2 touchdowns. Ball comes out and the Vikings have it. Into the hands of Cameron Bynum. Cameron Bynum tackled by Josh Allen. Let's see, it looked like Singletary was maybe down.
Well, let's see if Singletary's down.
Rolling on the field. There's a fumble. Recovered by the defense. First down, Minnesota.
So first we got to see if this is an actual fumble. And then the big part about it, boy, it kind of looks like he's got it right there in that left hand. Does he have it with his shoulder down? He's not down there. And is that starting to come out? Was it already loose there? I think that this one's going to be tough because it's going to probably stay as called on the field.
Yeah.
But then the second part, the great thing is the defense of Minnesota heads up, right? Because you block Devin Singletary out of the way because Cameron Bynum, all he's got to do is reach over and touch him, and he's going to be down, and they're able to get him blocked so he can get up and run with the football.
Let's see, they're going to take a close look at this. Call on the field is fumble, and a big return for Bynum. Those were whatever the call was probably going to stand, and like it might have been the other way, but rarely do you see it when there's not quite more evidence than that get overturned.
Great job by Caleb Evans getting that helmet on the football, and then just being aware right there, knowing that you weren't touched when you were down.
Yeah.
Devin Singletary was not able to get a hand on you, so pop up and get down the field.
And so that adds 35 yards to it, and the Vikings have it first down inside the Bills' 40. Pick up there from Cook to allow him to get it off to Thielen. First catch of the game for him. Boy, Kirk Cousins had somebody right in his hip pocket and Cook saved him.
This is impressive. You see Dalvin Cook as a running back, but you got to be able to do everything. Watch what he does to DeMar Hamlin when he's coming on the safety blitz. He stones him. boom, right there. And that gives him a clear pocket to make that throw. Great job by Dalvin Cook.
Complete player, complete running back, Dalvin Cook. Adam Thielen's first catch of the day goes for 5 yards. Second down and 5. A bubble to Osborne. Pushed out close to a first down by Taron Johnson.
So this is one of those areas we talked to Kevin O'Connell about. With them deferring at the start of the game, you're trying to catch that ability to score points. End of first half, beginning of second half. They put themselves in a position to do that with that play by their defense. They've got the ball down now, kind of in that high red zone area. It'll be interesting to see how he manages this, to see if he can get his points without allowing the Bills to get a possession.
Been good on third down today. Third and short here. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning. 17-10, excellent game this weekend here on Fox. 17-10, Bills in front. Entertaining first half here in Orchard Park. And here's one of the stages of the game. The Vikings have been so much better. Worst in the NFL. Final 2 minutes of both halves the last 2 years. Massive improvement this year. Out of the gun on third and short. Cousins given time. Lofts one up there. Jefferson climbs the ladder, but it's incomplete. Benford there in coverage. And now 4th and 1. And a decision coming up for Kevin O'Connell.
Well, one of the big things that Kevin O'Connell talked to us about is as the play caller and the head coach, he takes out that middleman in these types of situations, right? I had 2 plays that I like in that 3rd and 1 situation. I've already convinced, I'm going for it if we don't make it on the first one because I've got another good one in my back pocket. That's exactly what he's doing right here. He doesn't have the middleman. You don't get bogged down with conversation.
4th down, a long one. Out of the shotgun again. A pass again. Knocked away, and either way, it's going to be Bills' ball. Coverage from Christian Benford. It's incomplete, and it's a turnover on downs. They had 2 shots from a 1.5 yards away, 2 incomplete passes.
I didn't like the first pass. Here's KJ Osborne right here. Going to do the whip, try and get back inside. Great coverage again by Christian Benford. Having a nice afternoon today. But in one of those 2 situations, I mean, you've got Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. What are we doing? Let's give one of those guys a shot.
And the running game's been pretty good today. Instead, the Bills take over with 1:45 to go in this half. Leading 17-10. From an empty set, Allen's pressure got away from the first man, and Josh Allen turns a sack into a big gain into Vikings territory. Caleb Evans finally gets him, but he takes a -5 or 6 and turns it into a +26.
You can't defend that. There's just nothing you can do. They do everything right in their pass rush, but he's so good at taking something that was going to be negative and turning it into a massive positive.
Close to 50 yards on the ground. Steps into this throw. It's Diggs. It's a first down inside the 35. Diggs working against the rookie Evans.
Ken Dorsey taking a page out of Kevin O'Connell's book, being very aggressive in this situation, trying to get those points after their defense gives them the ball back.
Boy, what a counter punch. Turned it over on their last drive. Vikings had it deep in Bills territory. Turnover on downs, and the Bills coming right back at him. Allen lets it go for Gabe Davis. Inside the 20. 2 timeouts still. They'll use one here with 39 seconds. And how about Josh Allen? The question looming over this city, looming over the league this week. Would he play? What would he look like if he did? Well, the first answer was yes. Second answer is pretty darn good. And now this from Progressive and KFC.
I'm telling you that I shut the slider last night.
So we just own a cat now?
I close it.
Why don't we check the replay?
No. Come on.
This What Really Happened replay is brought to you by Progressive. One thing no one would challenge, saving money when you bundle home and auto with Progressive.
Just gonna get the cat.
You got KFC, mijo.
This drum and thigh combo's only $6.
Good deal. For you. But you bring nothing home for your abuelita.
You okay?
No.
Hurry, this $6 deal ends soon.
Darryl, he's shown zero limitations.
Zero, absolutely. And that, I think, was one of the big reasons why this was such a tough decision to make, because they
get to that fourth quarter where they feel they are especially dangerous. Josh Allen's presence and performance. I asked Sean McDermott, tell me about that. What is it about that? He says guys are just making plays for him. You can see it, you can sense it. He said, as far as the rest of this half goes, well, we got to know. Minnesota knows how to claw its way back. Back to you.
All right, Penn, now 6-game winning streak. 5 of those 6 wins have been of the comeback variety. So look, we didn't see in the first half. The fullback, C.J. Ham, leads the way for a couple yards there for Dalvin Cook. Your favorite play of the day for the Vikes, huh?
You got to get C.J. Ham out there. You want to convert. You want to get some continuity in this offense. Get that lead back out there. Let him help Dalvin Cook out a little bit.
Jeez, they've been waiting for it. Snap it quick. Cousins to the sideline. Jefferson, timing pattern, perfect connection. First down across the 40. And Justin Jefferson crosses 100 yards. His 20th career game already of 100 yards. That's the most of any player in NFL history through 3 seasons.
I tell you, it's just so impressive to watch Christian Benford today. He's growing up quick this afternoon. He's holding his own. They're making some catches, but I tell you, he's in great position. He's just going to have to now trust everything and start to make some plays on that football.
Hands full with Jefferson, who's got 103 yards on 5 catches. Here's Cook, waits for something to develop, and then Hamlin flies up from his safety spot. This guy's impressive. DeMar Hamlin, aggressive and a very sure tackler.
You know who he reminds me of, and he's wearing the exact same number, is Budda Baker for Arizona. He comes from that safety spot so quickly. He trusts what he sees with his eyes, and he's a very good finisher at the point of the tackle.
And they didn't figure he was going to play this much. He was behind Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. Both those guys injured, though. Sean McDermott said, you see this skill set, you see the frame, and you're intrigued by it. You figured if he just got a shot, it could look like this. Incomplete to Cook, and it's 3rd down.
And here's that first opportunity to extend a drive, to give yourself more opportunities. You mentioned those lulls. Once they have that opening drive score, they kind of fall into a little bit of a lull. They've been their own worst enemy at times so far this afternoon beyond that first opening drive. The one thing they talked about where they had to get better during that time is 3rd downs. They're not giving themselves enough opportunities to sustain drives.
3rd and 5 here. Play clock down to 2. They get it off. Cousins finds Cook, who's got room for a first down. Big tackle there for Tyrell Dodson. That was going to be an extra big play. They get the 5 yards and more. 15 total.
One of the things that Kevin O'Connell does really well is he frees up his guys. Here's your big bunch over here. You get all that attention. And then here comes Dalvin Cook underneath. And he's got linebacker in coverage.
And Dalvin Cook, who had his first receiving touchdown of the year last week to tie that game. The comeback win against Washington. As a catch here, get a rest now as Alexander Madison comes in. Cousins off play action again. Hit as he throws, and it's picked. He threw it right to him. Dane Jackson intercepts Kirk Cousins. Second interception of the day for the Bills defense. Still more picks than he threw last year. That was the first penalty, by the way, on Buffalo today. It was a hold, so it moves it back to the 32. First down and very long. Allen looks to throw, gets rid of it to Diggs. Soft spot in the middle of that defense. And Diggs has 18 yards.
Playing a little bit of zone coverage right here, and he's just going to find that soft spot right around the outside of the backer. Just get in there, shut it down on that soft spot. But the run after the catch to get you down now into 2nd and short after 1st and 20.
Singletary straight ahead. Not going to get there. Barely got a yard. It'll be 3rd and short. And Stephon Diggs is saying, hey, not so fast about this spreading it all around thing. Don't forget about me. Because on the season, Diggs has more catches than the rest of the wide receiver group combined, but today, we were touching on during that first half, Davis and McKenzie, even Shakir had a grab, all chipping in that first half. 3rd down and 1 here in the Bills' first drive of the second half. Allen in trouble. There's a flag down, and he's down. First sack of the day for the Vikings. And it's Zadarius Smith. Daniil Hunter as well. A couple guys having huge years. Finally getting to Allen. We'll see what the call is.
Holding. Offense, number 60. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is 4th down.
And so it is a hold. They decline it. And Zadarius Smith and Daniil Hunter, bookends, getting to Allen, forcing the punt.
Harrison Phillips, a former Buffalo Bill, coming back here, and he was really the guy. I don't know if I'd have called the holding on Mitch Morse. I think he just got ran over by Harrison Phillips.
Here's Martin. Second punt of the day. Jalen Reagor back to get it at the 20. Dances and goes out. Dane Jackson, one play after he gets an interception, he drops Delvin Cook for a loss of 6.
A really nice job. He really confuses Adam Thielen because he's lined up over the top of him in coverage. You'll see him shoot in right here. He was lined up in press coverage. There's nothing that Adam Thielen was going to be able to do to be able to react inside and get a block on him.
For this Bills defense, number 1 in the NFL for a second consecutive year. Some issues the last couple weeks stopping the run. Much better job today. 2nd and long. Cousins to throw. Hawkinson. Milano's right on him. It's a short gain and it's 3rd and long. There's an injury report for that. Here's Payne.
Yeah, Joe, linebacker Tremaine Edmonds isn't in there with the Bills defense right now. I'm told that Edmonds has a groin injury and is questionable. He was on the injury report this week with that same injury.
Yeah, there were questions coming into the game plan whether or not he would play. So Edmonds is out and Dodson is in. 3rd and 12 for the Vikes. Cousins. First down, Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson, in the middle of that defense, gets 15 big ones.
Right here, coming from the center, K.J. Osborne does a nice job creating some opening for T.J. Hawkinson. Just that inside route kind of gets everybody focused towards the middle, and he's able to find that soft spot.
So after he caught 9 balls in his Vikings debut, that's his 4th catch today. Keeps the drive going. Cousins finds Hawkinson again. And he's got 6. So T.J. Hawkinson traded from Detroit to the Vikings. Practices for the first time last Wednesday. And Kirk Cousins said, it took me 4 months to learn this offense. He had it down in 4 days and had a monster day a week after they got it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how impressive that is. I mean, some of these systems have become very verbose, and you're trying, people will say, well, it's just getting used to that language, the vocabulary that they use, and then you kind of just rotate that into the concepts that you understand. Yeah, right. That's a lot of work.
Play action. Von Miller's waiting on Cousins, who got rid of it to Hawkinson. He got pinballed around and dropped for a loss. Well, a few guys hit him hard. Taron Johnson, Tyrell Dotson, both there. 3rd down.
Yeah, that's just one of those things you don't really want to bootleg to Von Miller. He's too athletic. He's right off the hip of T.J. Hawkinson. Eyes on the quarterback, upfield, impacts that entire play.
Not too many scarier things for a quarterback in the NFL these days than to turn around and have that guy waiting for you. 3rd and 5.
He has stayed predominantly on that right side of Minnesota's offensive line, too, going against Brian O'Neill over Christian Darrisaw.
Just got the play off. Incomplete. With some whistles blowing. I don't know that they got that off.
Prior to the play, timeout, Minnesota.
All right, so they had to use a timeout there to avoid
it's a
the delay.
30-second timeout.
And now this from DirecTV.
DirecTV, I can get live TV and on demand together. Football, housewives. Football, housewives. Football, housewives.
Whoops.
Oh, no.
The housewives are on the field. I repeat, the housewives are on the field.
I just want to talk!
get your TV together. Call 1-800-DIRECTV to save up to $120.
That for the second time today, Minnesota has had to burn a timeout to prevent that play clock from running out. That's something that Kevin O'Connell takes a tremendous amount of pride in, being able to have all 3 timeouts so he can do the things that he does in the last 2 minutes of each first half. We showed you the difference that they've made this year in that area. A lot of that has to do with the ability to maintain all those timeouts. It just tells you how challenging it is to play at this stadium. These fans are unbelievable.
We have an official's timeout for a medical issue.
So T.J. Hawkinson, who you know is going to be a focal point in a situation like this, 3rd and 5, off of the field. The countdown is on because the World Cup is just 7 days away. Next Monday, the 21st, USA plays this long-awaited opener against Wales. And you could win $1 million. FoxSports.com/bracket. Play for free. So Hawkinson leaves. Johnny Munt replaces him on 3rd and 5. Kirk Cousins perfect on this drive. Bills show pressure. They back off. Cousins has time. Cousins lets it go with a flag down. He's got Osborne, but a flag in the backfield. Matt Milano looks like maybe got held.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
It's the left tackle, Darisaw.
All right, I'm going to get yelled at by all the Bills fans, but I really don't think this is his holding right here. He's going to go against Matt Milano. It's leverage, right? Everybody's falling. You're trying to do that, and everybody's going to the ground. You know, right at the very end. But, I mean, so many times, it's like the Mitch Morris when he got called for holding. He didn't get called for holding. He just got ran over by Harrison Phillips. And I think if you go to the ground in the NFL today, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that holding call.
29-yard net penalty there when you wipe away the play. So 3rd down and long. Cousins hit as he lets it go and incomplete. He stood no shot, and he's still down, wincing.
This is a great twist.
Hugh Smiley is a U.S. Air Force veteran. Thank you to Coach Smiley and all the veterans out there for your service. By the way, our Bills fan there that brought us back from break, blowing something up in the background, and then there's 4 dudes standing like halfway to the explosion, just standing there without their masks and their helmets up. They're giving me a heads up.
I know, right? Where's my stuff? Just in case.
Drive begins at the 27-yard line with a run for Devin Singletary, who's ripped down by Eric Kendricks. Game break time, Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Joe. Bears up 17-10. Justin Fields already has 2 touchdowns today. Fine time. Airs this one out. Cole Kmet.
Ended on the ball. He popped up and went off under his own power before this 3rd and 5 play. Andrew Booth is into the game. His first defensive snaps in the NFL because Caleb Evans is out with a concussion. Hard count, and flags fly. Everybody's pointing at everybody else. Only one man's opinion matters. A group of them. He's helping the guy whose opinion matters, Zadarius Smith. Here's the call.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
It's another area, Daryl, where on the margins this year, the Vikings have been so good and have won just about every week. The penalties today mounting.
Yeah, and we showed you that graphic earlier, those different areas where they were really good this season. And if you add all those up for every team in the NFL, they're the best. They have the lowest number when you look at that. So the penalties have really been an issue for them here this afternoon, and that's one of the big areas they focused on.
I mentioned Booth into the game for the first time on defense. He's defending Diggs, and so they go right there, and Diggs dances his way around Booth. This is already a spot where the Vikings are having to dig a little bit because Cam Dantzler is placed on IR. So that's why Evans was starting. Evans now leaves, and you got a guy who's never played defense in the NFL out there trying to defend Diggs.
And that will be the first of many passes coming towards number 23. And just, hey, let's see how you're going to match up here. You've got Stephon Diggs out on you again. You've got to get a little bit of help. Harrison Smith working his way over on that side of the field.
Rookie second rounder out of Clemson. First read was taken. He just waited an extra beat to allow Knox to come free. Dawson Knox with the first down. Chandon Sullivan pushes him out after 22 yards.
Well, you've got a blitz drawn up to the offensive left side, and Dawson Knox is just going to take off. And you've got the twist and the blitz, and he gets turned loose. Eric Hendricks does not see him coming across. Easy throw and catch.
10 in a row completed by Josh Allen. And after Allen was just about 50% in the loss against the Jets. 17 out of 21 today. Here's a flip to James Cook. Waits for the blocks to develop. Gets around the edge. And gets 7. Rookie third rounder with a nice gain. And a good block coming here from Roger Saffold.
A really nice patience by James Cook as well. Boy, Roger Saffold just really gets Eric Hendricks on that one. And that allows James Cook to get to the outside and turn that corner.
Woo. They think by the end of the year, James Cook is going to really be factoring into this offense.
Absolutely. I think he becomes a really good changeup. You look at those 3 running backs for Buffalo and the different skill sets they bring in. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They're very dynamic.
Tipped at the line and incomplete. That was Daniel Hunter who got his hand on it, and it's 3rd and 2.
Third down.
Duke Johnson comes in at running back.
Hey, go, bullet, gotta go. Omaha,
He's got it, and he struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. The Vikings defense again comes up with a stand. Harrison Phillips in the middle of that. And the old Bill makes it 4th down, and the field goal team comes out.
You're exactly right, Joe. You mentioned earlier how this defense has really kind of kept Minnesota in the game. Ed Donatel's group, when they've been pressed, have stood up, forced some field goals, done some things to try and keep this Minnesota Viking team in the game.
Tyler Bass, who hit from 34 today, tries it from 40, tries to make it a 3-score game. And there's movement again. Preliminary indication is that this is on the Bills, though.
I think they're going to get the long snapper.
Offense, number 69. It's 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
All right, so adds a little layer of difficulty to it as they get the long snapper, Reed Ferguson.
We've had a couple of those the last few weeks with the long snappers being a little bit sudden, a little bit quick with that head movement. So the couple of bad throws, that one sailed on him a little bit. This one, it's kind of going through your progression, and you think you see something out of the corner of your eye, but it's not exactly how you saw it. And a couple of huge interceptions for Kirk Cousins during the course of the afternoon.
And for a lot of the season, they've been able to overcome any of his issues, any of the team issues. 7-1, trying to win a 7th in a row today. Here's Delvin Cook on first down, and Cook's got room. Delvin Cook takes off down the sideline. There he goes. The big play they desperately needed. Delvin Cook with a 71-yard touchdown. Wow.
I think that settles the Cook-off.
Yeah, that's right. Cook-off is good one.
James Cook is going to have to match that one. That's a great run, but I tell you what, it's a great run because it was phenomenally blocked up front. And again, it's one of those things that we've talked about during the course of the day. Can you get your running back one-on-one with a guy in space? And they did that with Christian Benford. And Dalvin Cook made him miss, and that was the last guy who had a shot.
Longest play of the season for the Vikings.
So you're going to have a great double team here to start. You're going to get a great block from your wide receiver coming in. They're going to climb here. You get the great block here. Now what that does is it puts you one-on-one with Christian Benford, 47, right there. Look at this. Okay, here we go. You and me in space. He kept him on his inside. You give him credit for that. But then once he got to the sideline, that's a touchdown.
That's at 71, 81-yard touchdown. There's Jefferson with a key block. And Cook off to the races. And the family enjoying this special day with the boys playing. So 81 yards on that one carry, 94 total. And the Vikings right back in this game, 27-17. Longest touchdown of the year for the Vikings. It's the second longest touchdown in the NFL this year.
And that's, for Bills fans, last week against the Jets, they kept them in check with the running game. It was, there was nothing really that hurt Buffalo defensively until that last drive. That last drive, just the commitment to the run that the Jets had, the ability to take time off that clock. So again, to get into, late in the game, end of third quarter, get ready to start the fourth quarter and give up a huge explosive play like that.
Duke Johnson to the 25. They'll start Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday on Fox. Fourth-ranked TCU tries to build off yesterday's big win at Texas and stay in playoff position, taking on Baylor, all starting at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Big Noon kickoff crew live from Waco, and then TCU Baylor, noon Eastern on Fox. So Dalvin Cook with an 81-yard touchdown run. First touchdown for the Vikings since the first drive of the game. The defense has kept them in it, giving up just the field goal in the second half. Allen quickly throws. Stephon Diggs gets stopped by Eric Kendricks. They continue to go right to him as long as he's going to have Andrew Booth on him. I mean, regardless of who he has on him, they like to go to him. They get a guy who's never played defense in the NFL at this point guard.
Yeah, I mean, look at that is a huge cushion right there that Andrew Booth is giving up. And then when you're coming in, I just keep coming out and throwing it. He's got another big cushion out there right now.
Runs by him this time and incomplete. Third down. Andrew Booth is a guy who they had high hopes for coming into the year. Second-round pick out of Clemson. Slowed by injuries early on and got to play a little bit on special teams, but just was buried on that corner depth chart. Forced in there with the injuries here. What a time for that. Against Allen and Diggs and these Bills. Final minute of this third quarter. 3rd and 5 for Buffalo. Allen flushed, runs, and gets it. Darius Smith the tackle, but there is a flag down in the backfield.
Holding. Offense, number 79. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Usually a pretty good indication who it's going to be on when you get a shot of a guy looking despondent. It was on Brown. And so 3rd and 15 instead of a conversion.
Yeah, I think one of the really impressive things with Josh Allen in that situation is he doesn't wait. As he's going back and he starts to see whether it's the rush getting close or if he sees the backs of all the defenders turn to him, he makes that decision and he just goes. And that's why he was able to get that first down on the last one that got called back.
Vikings showing pressure here. They rush just 4. Allen again rolls. On the move, lets it fly. Oh, Diggs! Oh, what a catch! Stephon Diggs, one hand. First down, Buffalo.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow!
That is unbelievable.
And what a moment for it. On 3rd and 15, he does this for 25 yards. And what a way for this third quarter to come to a close. It'd be hard to ever have one more impressive than that. His fourth quarter starts with a gain for nothing from Devin Singletary. I mean, that's the kind of catch that Diggs just made. You're going to see the rest of his career. You're going to see highlights of that.
He makes it look so routine. It's like easy. I'm just going to slide over here, jump up. I mean, not even a movement with the football as soon as it touches his hand. It's amazing, the guys in today's game, how many one-handed catches you see. And it's like one guy's going to outdo the next guy.
What a treat today, watching him and Justin Jefferson. On 2nd and 10, early on in this fourth quarter, Allen is sacked from behind by Danielle Hunter. Second time today, he gets home. What a resurgent year this guy's having.
Just trying to get comfortable in this front and how you're going to do it. And this is great. Watch him go up the field against Deion Dawkins and then come underneath right there. A little push by, able to squeeze that pocket.
Third down and long again. They needed a miraculous catch from Diggs to convert a third down earlier on this drive. Vikings defense, one of the big stories of this second half. 3rd and 16. Allen dances away from Smith, keeps it alive, finds Davis. They do it again on 3rd and long. This time a strike to Gabe Davis for 22 yards.
There's Gabe Davis right there. Watch with Harrison Smith. I think he's going over the top. He turns his back. And then you lose track of Josh Allen. You don't realize that he's outside the pocket.
That's the other thing with his mobility. It's not just him running for yards, but it's what he gains in passing yards with his mobility. Kept it alive long enough for Davis to come open. Hard for anybody to defend for that long. This is a screen, and he'll spike it to the feet of James Cook.
And then right there, it's something as simple as knowing when that play is over. Nothing good is going to happen with me trying to get that ball to Devin Singletary. Or James Cook, I'm sorry. So there's Harrison Smith down the field, gets outside. Now you think you're going to go all the way down the field, but also just the location. And it's still a difficult throw. You saw Patrick Peterson underneath.
To be fair, Harrison Ford's the only guy who hasn't touched it to the base today.
Thank you for that.
2nd and 10, James Cook dives forward and gets 7. It's 3rd and 3.
We were talking about it earlier. Some of these names get stuck in your head, and you're like, I know that one's coming out today.
Yep. Just a matter of when. A 2-score game, 2.5 minutes into this fourth quarter. Josh Allen, the 7th overall pick in 2018, been the starter all 5 years. Hasn't missed a game since he had that same injury back as a rookie. Spraining his elbow in missed 4 games. 3rd down and 3 from the fringes of field goal range. Making it a moot point with Stephon Diggs. 10th catch, he's over 100 yards. He's got a first down to the 15.
Just a really nice job with this route. Watch, he gets to Andrew Booth to turn his hips right there and just spun him all the way around. Jordan Hicks not able to get out there and help out. Well, I tell you what, he has been in every facet of the game today. Everything you would want to see a wide receiver do. We saw the one-handed catch. His route running today has been outstanding. His run after the catch.
Here's McKenzie. Great ball placement from Allen. McKenzie leans forward for 8. Cameron Bynum the tackle. There's a couple huge 3rd down pickups on this drive for the Bills. Looking for a back-breaking drive against a team who's always seeming to lurk, always seeming to be ready to come back.
And it's so deflating for a defense. You work so hard on those first 2 downs to create those 3rd and long situations. And Buffalo has done it a couple of times on this drive, being able to convert.
2nd and short, Duke Johnson comes in. Allen off play action, throws it into the dirt. There's a screen for Knox. It was taken away. It's 3rd down again. And another chance for this Vikings defense to get off of the field and keep this a 2-score game.
Just see if we get 14 versus 23 again in this situation. And if so, you got to get a little bit. Donatell's got to get a little bit of help over there. He's walking that way.
The other side of the field, you got Patrick Peterson, but continue to have the rookie on Diggs. Allen looks the other way. Over the middle and incomplete, and it's 4th down. For McKenzie. 4th and 2, and it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field. What do you think?
It's aggressive.
That it is. You like it?
I'm thinking on it. I'd probably call a timeout and think a little bit more on it. Like you said, if you kick the field goal, it's just a 2-possession game. So you've got Josh Allen back the way he's been playing. Let's go for it on 4th down and try and put this one away.
So here we go. Allen on 4th and 2. Keeps it alive. Josh Allen into the end zone, and it's picked by Peterson. Patrick Peterson has some room. The veteran down the sideline and back to the 34. Vikings defense bends and bends, but doesn't break. And that is Josh Allen. Let's look back at the play, especially the end of it.
Yeah, you're trying to keep it alive, and I agree with Joe. It's 4th down. Just throw it in. Somebody can make a play. It's a nice job by Patrick Peterson. Kind of gets lost and pops right in. But now we've talked about the competitive nature, but there's got to be a point where Josh Allen understands that I'm going beyond that, and to throw your right elbow into Patrick Peterson to try and knock that ball loose when he's already on the ground. Those are decisions that could have huge ramifications for this team.
Yeah, that is the right elbow. Yeah, that's an incomplete pass intended for Jefferson. Very quickly, the Vikings looking at 3rd and 9. And the defense continuing to do its job, continuing to give the offense a chance. Can the Vikings find it in the 4th quarter? 5 of the 6 wins during this streak have been of the comeback variety, including last week, down 10, down to the same margin in the 4th quarter against Washington. Third and 9, pressure coming. Cousins finds Thielen, who stopped 2 yards shy. DeMar Hamlin, the tackle. It's 4th down and 2. No signs of the punt team.
They're going to go for it. And this is one of the ones we've talked about with Kevin O'Connell in that situation. As the play caller and head coach, he's already had those plays. He's played out this scenario in his head, and he's able to jump right into this 4th down call.
For 1 on 4th down today.
And they're going to be real up against this clock coming out of the huddle. We're down to 5 right now. They haven't even broke.
They've already broke 2 timeouts in these situations today. Now they've got to use a 3rd. You can see the angst on Kevin O'Connell's face. These are the kinds of things they've not had to do this year. This is part of how they've won all these close games is they've managed the timeouts. They've managed the clock so well.
But I think Buffalo puts so much pressure on you that sometimes you fall out of that comfort zone. I just watching everything leading up to this game and seeing how they've played and then seeing it here in this environment, we were wondering how they were going to respond. Even Kirk Cousins, never having played here before during the course of a regular season game, it is so challenging, and we've seen it everywhere, getting in and out of the huddle, at the line of scrimmage. You're not going to be able to do audibles there because you're so worried about that information getting across the entire front. So they have made it challenging, and the big one is these timeouts, because they're going to need them if they're going to be able to get back into this game or pull this game out. And this crowd has forced them to use all their timeouts.
4th down and 1 for the Vikings. Osborne in motion. He's got it. KJ Osborne. He breaks a tackle, fights his way close. Into the pin down the spot. All kinds of collisions over there. First it was Johnson, then it was Lewis. And the preliminary indication is 1st down.
This is an outstanding effort by KJ Osborne because this play should have been stopped short twice. It's just a great individual effort, especially the second one, the second hit by Cam Lewis.
How awesome is that for a guy, KJ Osborne, who a few years ago was here at a game as a fan. He played at the University of Buffalo and came to watch the Bills play. Cousins steps up. Incomplete, looking for Cook. So 8:15 left to go in this one. The Vikings hanging in this game. They got an 81-yard touchdown from Dalvin Cook. They got an interception from Patrick Peterson, the second takeaway of the game for the Vikings. They're within 2 scores. Can Kevin O'Connell's team do it again?
Christian Darrisaw out of the lineup right now, so you've got Blake Randall out there at left tackle.
Back in the hands of Osborne. Block from Thielen. Bumped out at midfield by Boogie Basham. 3rd down.
That'll be something to keep an eye on. Christian Darrisaw. All day long, Von Miller was going to the right. That's how much respect he has. He said Minnesota has the best offensive tackle combination in the NFL and has a ton of respect for the young guy playing left tackle. But with Christian Darrisaw out, now we've got Blake Randall at left tackle. Does Von Miller come back over to that left side now to test that?
Randall's a guy who's hardly played. Second-year man out of Oregon State. The injured player here is Cam Lewis.
Boy, they thin at that safety position.
They're already down Jordan Poyer. From earlier this year, down Micah Hyde. And as they take a look at Lewis, a game break with Carissa.
Thank you so much. I'll let you know that Dak Prescott and company on the road in Lambeau. First time Mike McCarthy is back there. Meanwhile, his former quarterback Aaron Rodgers and the Packers trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. It's America's Game of the Week, and it's all coming up next.
That is unthinkable. 5-game skid for the Packers. That follows us. Cowboys, Packers with KB. Greg Olsen, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi. 3rd and 4 here for the Vikings from midfield. And Miller's on the other side of the line as they hand it off to Cook. Tripped up in the backfield. It's Ed Oliver making it 4th down.
What a great job, because he's actually the guy getting double teamed, and he's able to hold the point. Watch. That's a double team. Holds the point against Ed Ingram and then gets upfield to make the tackle.
Well, they converted 4th and 1. Here they're looking at 4th down and a long 5. Cousins zips one for Hawkinson. 1st down Vikings. T.J. Hawkinson inside the 40. Second 4th down conversion of the drive as Hawkinson gets 12.
Got a little chemistry building between Kirk Cousins and T.J. Hawkinson, going to him at critical times. Again, another really nice feel for that soft spot in the zone, and it's feeling, clearing everything out underneath.
Yeah, I'd say 16 catches in 2 games as teammates. That qualifies some early chemistry. 10-point game nearing the 6-minute mark. Cook motions out. Cousins looking middle. Incomplete over Jefferson. Jefferson, after the big first half, just 1 catch in the second half. Had 2 long catches on the first drive, had a touchdown on the first drive. The Bills have taken him away. On 2nd and 10, Cousins retreating, scrambling and throwing to an open Thielen. Adam Thielen gets loose. 22 yards and another Vikings 1st down.
That's a really nice job by Kirk Cousins, because this is a screenplay that goes wrong. It's supposed to be a screen to the left. Von Miller drives it all the way back. He's able to sneak out to the right side and find Adam Thielen down the field, but just a really good recognition. That play is gone. Buffalo's defense did a great job shutting down that screen, and you sneak out and find Adam Thielen down the sideline.
A lot of times the concern becomes illegal men downfield when screenplays go awry and you throw downfield, but no call there. Got a 1st down at the 18. Cousins steps up and takes off, and Kirk Cousins lowers the shoulder. First down and goal, Minnesota. You said swagger when we introduced Kirk Cousin earlier. How about some toughness?
He had a great scrambled touchdown a couple of weeks ago against Arizona, and that's a nice one there. You could see him kind of thinking about it. Am I going to slide? And all of a sudden he says, no, I'm going to go try and get this one.
Kirk Thuggins, they call him, wearing those chains on the road trips back. Lowers the shoulder here, makes it first and goal. Looking for his 5th comeback win during this winning streak. Fakes to Cook, floats for Jefferson, incomplete. Good coverage, Dane Jackson.
I tell you, that's great. You are purely one-on-one. You've got everything inside. It's just Dane Jackson and Justin Jefferson letting them play in the end zone again. We saw that earlier in the game when it was Hawkinson. Letting them play once they get into that end zone area.
But it's not Tre'Davious White. It's not Kaiir Elam. It's Jackson and Benford doing a nice job on Jefferson as this game goes on. Second and goal. 13th play of the drive for the Vikings. Thielen in motion. Here's Ham, the fullback. Touchdown Vikings. C.J. Ham with his first rushing touchdown in 5 years. And it's a one-score game here in the 4th. Go ahead, fullback. How do you like that?
5 years?
Uh-huh.
Watch the jet motion and then watch the reverse pivot out. And you're fake and sweep and you hand it off to C.J. Ham inside. A lot of stuff for those linebackers and that nickelback to think of as that play is developing. And everybody forgets about C.J. Ham.
And Moose sheds a tear of happiness.
Should have been 5 years.
When it's been 5 years. The extra points off the upright. A massive miss from Greg Joseph. He's missed 4 PATs this year. And this one means they need a touchdown. Returnable for Johnson from the 5. And Johnson to the 27. Well, there have been several spots where it looked like the Bills are ready to pull away and make it comfy. This is a 4th down play. Patrick Peterson intercepts Josh Allen, returned it 34 yards. And then a 13-play drive, a couple 4th down conversions. Get out of Thuggins' way. Made it first and goal. And then we had to get a fullback involved. C.J. Ham with a touchdown, but the missed extra point, and we'll see how large that looms. Bills back on offense from the 27. Josh Allen whips it outside. Devin Singletary stopped by Danielle Hunter, who's had a nice second half.
And there's a dimension of Danielle Hunter's game that Ed Donatel, the defensive coordinator, is comfortable with. It's going to be a process. But when you're a pass rusher of the skill level of Danielle Hunter, and you think you're always going forward, the ability to be able to drop him in coverage from time to time is going to cause some issues for some of the pass protection schemes of your opponent. So showing you a little bit of the flexibility that he's starting to really kind of lean into here in this defense.
Only the one timeout for the Vikings. Have had to burn a couple to avoid delay of games so far in this half. There's movement and a flag and a false start coming.
False start. Offense. Number 14. It's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Tom Diggs, and you can sense the anxiousness in here right now. This place was rocking as they were ready to pull away and put this thing on ice, but they've let the Vikings hang around. And with 3:45 to go, 27-23.
The one team you do not want to let hang around, because they have made it an art this season of winning these one-possession games.
Empty set, 2nd and 15. Allen throws incomplete. It's 3rd down. That stops the clock at 3:40. And as good as the Vikings have been in tight games, the Bills, believe it or not, the worst team in the NFL the last 2 years in games decided by 8 points or fewer.
You can see right there, they're usually pulling away from people. Those 17 games, 9 points or more. And you just get comfortable in that area. And then all of a sudden, because you're not used to it, when you get into these tight fits and every mistake or every missed opportunity is magnified, it's a whole different scenario.
Bills have had a couple big 3rd down pickups in this second half. Allen triggers, Diggs, broken up by Harrison Smith. Vikings set to get the ball back within 4.
I don't know if this was more Harrison Smith or a drop by Stephon Diggs. We'll see right here. Has him turned around a little bit. Has to undercut it. Yeah, I think that's one that Stephon Diggs wishes he had back.
Would have been a good catch, but it's one that he makes, 49 times out of 50. And so a 3 and out. They're coming after it. Get the punt off. Jalen Reagor with a fair catch. Oh, baby. Stumbling back. Makes the catch on it. With 3:26 to go. As Reagor gave him a scare. Diggs had it right there. Nice throw from Allen, but he couldn't hang on. Funny game, isn't it? I mean, he had the one-handed catch earlier, impossible catch, and then that one right in the breadbasket, couldn't pull it in. And now here's Kirk Cousins looking for his 5th game-winning drive of this year. Now, overall, it has not been the prettiest year for Cousins or for the Vikings, but any chance they've had to have it, he and they have.
They have played fantastic in these situations at the end of the game with the game on the line.
7-1 for the first time in 13 years. Cousins looks to throw. Pressed off his spot by Miller. Makes another man miss. And finds Osborne. Threaded it through there just out of the reach of Dotson.
This is a really nice job. He's going to get away from Von Miller first. That's Ed Oliver, the second one. Stands in again. Knows he's going to take that hit, and look at that. Just beyond the outstretched arms for K.J. Osborne.
They were hoping that he could have a bigger role today, and that's the 5th catch for Osborne. 2nd and 5. Just the 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning. Thielen this time. He's got it. Nice grab by him for 6 and a first down for the Vikings. Cousins well protected this time. Coverage downfield tight, and it gives them time to get home. Boogie Basham. Only his 2nd sack of the year, but it comes in a big spot. A loss of 3.
Well, you're trying to get help, but watch what Ezra Cleveland does. He comes from the inside and actually pushes Boogie Basham off of Blake Brandel. So you're trying to help your buddy out, and you may have hurt him a little bit.
2nd and long. Cousins. Hawkinson got drilled. Taron Johnson jarred loose, and it's 3rd down.
What a really good job by Taron Jackson. Just kind of drifting back, closing down some throwing lanes. Sees Hawkinson come out. And once that ball is thrown, he comes up and puts a big hit on and jars it loose.
On 3rd and long, it's Von Miller putting his stamp on this one. Boy, he's been lurking all day. He's been making an impact here and there, but here he really comes through and gets his first sack. It makes it 4th and a mile on the other side of the